Can you see me? Okay, let's make it bigger. There you go. A little bit bigger. Okay, I'm here. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about piping, the pipe function in functional programming. So for the last few days, I've been covering composition techniques in functional programming, and pipe is basically one of them. And it's a concept that is heavily used in technologies like RxJS. So when I say RxJS, a lot of people think right away not React, but Angular. But it's not really linked to Angular. It's just a concept of reactive programming that is used in other languages like Java as a thing called RxJava, or Clojure as something also that works in that sense. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to pipe everything. The first thing we do is I show you how it is being used in RxJS, so you understand quickly, like, oh, pipe are actually quite useful. And then we're going to do a re-implementation from scratch of what you could do with the pipe. Okay, let's do that. Fantastic. First step, let's get out of the way and make room for some coding action right there. So where do we start? We're going to first add RxJS. In my project here, I already added RxJS, but you could just do this way, right? And now what we're going to do, we're going to create what I call a stream of data, right? So RxJS is about reactive programming. It's all about creating a stream of data. So we're going to create that using an interval. So what really is happening with the interval is you're just gonna create an interval that says every second emit a value. So the interval is going to do that incrementally, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, right? So the way you can think about it really is by looking at this drawing right here. So the two lines you see there, you can think of them as a pipe, and then you have data coming in this way, right? So and then that pipe there, so here it's data and then data, right, coming in, and they're going inside a pipe. They're going inside a pipe, and that pipe is going to have a set of a set of operations that will, each of them will transform the data to a point where here as an output we're going to have something. So think of it, for example, that data here that comes in is basically an array of things, or just 0, 1, 2, 3. So that one here is gonna take care of for example, doubling. We're just gonna put double over there, so it's going to double the value. So for each value entering there, if it's 1, it's gonna become 2, and whatever goes inside there, so it enters that pipe here, and then it will exit over there. It enters there and it's gonna exit there. So each of them, they're basically operations. So let me go back here and then say, like, when they enter here, if they come like 1, they're going to come out of here like as 2. And then this one, think of it, for example, as a filter. And then that filter, what it's going to do is to say, hey, whenever I receive 2 over here, is going to apply the filter. Let's say we want to remove odd numbers, right? So it's like, oh, is 2 an odd number? Yes, if it is odd number, it will put it over. It will send it on the other side. But inside here, it's where you have all the operation happening right there. So what you see in the middle there are what you call operators. All right, these two things are operators, right? So you have the data, and then you have the operators happening on the other side. Now let's see a little bit in terms of code how you do so. So here I have this, and I need to import operators right here. So let me do this, and then they call operators like this. So we're gonna have a map and a filter, like as we did in the drawing right there. And now, how then can I combine them? How do I create that pipe, that pipeline right there? RxJS has a function called pipe, and that's what we're talking about today, is that pipe function. Then the pipe function will take a map and a filter, right? So the thing there is, these two things needs to then take the functions that we saw right here. We need to basically be able to say double and filter right there, but then inside them you need to have the function double. So what I'm trying to say by that is this one here is a map function that will take the double, and this one is the filter function that will take like something like a delegate that you can think of as a function that's just basically check if it's an odd number, right? So how do you do that in code? So here it's basically saying we're going to have the map, so we just gonna create a double function here that for each number it receives, it's going to basically multiply that number times 2 right here, right? That is already one thing. And then we're going to have a function here that is we're going to call odd numbers, right? So, and then now below we're going to pass the double over here, and filter takes that odd number function right there. Okay, so once we have that, we need to take care of the fact that the odd number part needs to return a boolean. So what we're going to say here is to say like that thing there should return this equal to 0, right? If we do so, all our errors are gone. So what I just shown you there right here, it's basically this idea of the first part is the data, right? So if you go then further, that data will enter a pipe, so you can think of it as a tunnel, right? A tunnel or a pipeline, and then in that tunnel you're gonna have a way to map, right? And then we go a little bit further, and here we're going to have a way to filter, and as an output for this, we're going to be able to access the data. So in the case of RxJS, what we see right here, that entire mechanism is lazy, right? That's not what we're gonna talk about here. We're going to talk about it on another video, the laziness of a function and how you can build functions that are actually lazy and perform really well only when needed, really. So here, the only way you can consume that data here is actually by subscribing to it. So the way I do it, I'm just gonna create a variable here and then just subscribe to it. So that's the way that mechanism will be executed all the way from the beginning till the end. So let me just move this part over here because that's the way it is done. So that's what you get with a pipe function, right? You can pass as many functions you want here. For example, I can add another one that basically says at this stage, let's add a take, and let's take the first two, and then you can just do add so many functions that you want inside the pipe, right? I hope that's pretty clear. Now, the next step here is to go ahead and implement that, right? What if that is an exercise that you can find on the HackerJS learning platform, where you could say we remove that library there, and then you make sure that this entire thing still works. You in for the challenge, you can go on the HackerJS learning platform and try it for yourself. But for now, I would like to show you how you will go and build the pipe function yourself. So that's gonna be on the next video. Okay? Fantastic. Cheers, people.